Let's deal with a topic that should be near and dear to the heart of what we all talk about, the Motor City, and that's the issue of transportation. According to Transportation Riders United, there have been a number of transit improvements in our region. Witnessed today the latest proposal, $40 million for Michigan Central Transit Center. But that same organization also says Detroit, and I quote them, Detroit Transit falls short on what this region needs to expand opportunities, end of quote. What plans do you have in mind to improve transit in the city of Detroit? Council President
So a
Sheffield.
world-class city needs world-class transit. And we know over one third of our residents do not have access to a car. The City Council in this last budget added an additional $20 million to invest in our public transportation system. We also supported $140 million to the Coolidge Terminal facility, $30 million to the Jason Hargrove facility. But we have to address the most pressing issue, I believe, is wait times. We have to ensure that no one is waiting 30, 40, 50 minutes to catch a bus. And so as mayor, my number one priority is to reduce wait times, increase frequency and reliability of our system, make sure that our drivers are paid the wages that they deserve, and make sure that the system is safe. We will also continue our regional conversations with our regional partners to look at a regional approach to transit. And then lastly, look at innovative ways like microtransit and shuttles to supplement the work of what currently DDOT is doing. But my number one focus is reducing reducing wait times for our residents and riders.
Reverend Kinloch, what plans do you have in place to be able to improve transportation, which is not just a Detroit issue, it is really a regional issue?
Yes. We have to approach it from the perspective that it's not an option, it is a necessity. I remember growing up in the city of Detroit, and the only way I can get from point A to point B is I had to depend on public transportation. A lot of our school children are dependent on public transportation. Our family, our community is dependent on public transportation. So it's not an option, it's an obligation that we provide reliable transportation. One of the things we have to do is make sure that we have competitive pay. Our drivers, our workers went without pay, competitive pay, for 20 years. And so while they did make progress on that, we still got a long ways to go. We got to make sure that we have reliable vehicles. Although we made some purchasing, we got to do even more. We got to make sure that our mechanics are trained. We got to make sure that we're retaining our employees and they're not going other places for competitive pay. And we got to make sure that we're keeping our passengers and our employees safe, whether that is partnering with the police department or others.
Thank you, Reverend. Council President, you have a
I am
rebuttal
proud
today?
to have received the endorsement from the men and women of DDOT, the ATU union, which solidified my commitment to not only the system, but the workers of DDOT. I will continue, as mentioned, to ensure that we are investing in our system. We have to, in order to retain and to attract residents to Detroit, specifically our youth, we have to have a robust transit system. And so you will see an investment from me as mayor every year to ensure that we're making and reaching those goals that have been set by the DDOT Reimagine plan.
Thank you. Reverend Kinloch.
Well, I always have to report back to the fact or point back to the fact that these are not new issues. These are issues that have been negated and neglected for a long time. And it should not take us running for mayor to bring attention, weight, and gravity to this. These are things that we should have been working on intensely and intentionally far better and far more than we have.
Very good.